you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Stanley pour les Canadiens, le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. Bittt. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, the Sick Podcast on this Thursday, April 6th. It is 1 minute past 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and the Montreal Canadiens win, and they win big versus the Washington Capitals, a game that was played at the Bell Center by a score of 6-2. Everyone, welcome, and I should say welcome back, because, of course, we missed you last night. We really did. But we, there was, because of the power outages, of course, throughout the province of Quebec, one of which struck the Cavallaro household in Kirkland, Quebec. We decided to, there was really no other way we were going to do it last night. Well, there would have been another way. Agnello and Sammy could have come to my house in Villa Sal because I had power. But you know what? I think they waited and they waited. We waited. We wanted to see what was going on. And obviously, the way the driving conditions were. Anyway, long story short, so still many homes without electricity. And for those of you who are without, we hope that you'll get electricity soon. As for the Cavalaros, they are so dedicated to the show, folks. I want to tell you that tonight, well, earlier today, they checked into a hotel in Montreal so that actually they could produce the show at a distance and we can bring you the show. Okay. I believe tonight will be an abbreviated show. It won't be the full hour because there's certain things that they cannot do out of the hotel that they would do out of head office. But we are already on the case, and we are planning towards next year that if something like this happens, that we'll be ready to go. What's going to happen? Well, I'm going to get a generator, and they're going to get a generator. We are on the case, okay? But they are fantastic people to work for. They're very dedicated. And believe me when I tell you, they checked into a hotel for you and the podcast. Believe me when I tell you that. All right. Okay. So now, without further ado, tonight was a special night at the Bell Center, which we'll get to in just a second. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, a leading full-service logistics provider serving all of North America, driven to be different, and brought to you by Bittt at Tibi. Here they are. Beauty, huh? Embrace your true nature. Bittt at Tibi, brewed in Quebec, a winner of a dozen international awards. Bittt at Tibi offers quality microbrewery beers made with premium ingredients for everyone's taste. Bittt at Tibi, embrace your true nature. All right, okay. Without further ado, he's a regular collaborator every Thursday night. We have him, I believe we do. Yes, there you have it. Former NHLer, former Hab, and currently, of course, with BPM Sports, where he hosts Le Monde de Georges, weekdays between 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. George Laraque, what's going on?
How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing very good. I know you were at the Bell Center. I had a chance. I saw pictures. You were in a loge. Talk to us about the event tonight. Shed some light on it for us if we can, and your involvement in the event, George.
Well, it was awesome. It was a great event put up by the Montreal Canadiens. As you guys all know, it was the Pride event where all the players were wearing the Pride jerseys, a special design that was made. All the jerseys are going to auction, and they're going for an auction to go to for You Can Play Foundation, that foundation that helps the community LGBTQ. And during that event, I was wearing a jersey tonight. And for an hour, I took pictures with the fans and autograph at Bell Center. And after with Jordan Harris, we met different kids that are issued from these communities. So what I'm talking about, kids from maybe 8 to 13 years old, kids that are homosexual, and we got to meet them in different lodge. Tonight, me and Jordan Irish took pictures with them. We talked with them, and no, it was awesome. It was awesome to talk to these kids, watch hockey games with them, and I thought it was a great event put up by the Canadian, and I was very happy to be there, donate my time, and
good for you,
and to do as all the cause the Canadians are doing are awesome, man.
Yeah,
and I'm just glad that I'm a great. You know how much I love charity work, and I think it's amazing. And everything revolving children. The children is our future of tomorrow. So I think that it's a duty to do as much as we can. And tonight I was there for them.
Yeah, George, you're absolutely amazing in the community. And I'm not saying that just because you're my friend. I'm saying that because it's true. Because if it wasn't, I just wouldn't have said it. You're amazing in the community. You're amazing when it comes to charity work. You're amazing in giving your time. And it's actually out of everything that you're all about, it's the thing that I most admire in you, George. The fact that, you know what? You give your time, you spread your time thin, and it's very honorable of you because I know a lot of people expect it, but hey, our biggest thing in life is we should be giving time to our family. And sometimes it takes away from your family time when you do that. So I think it's very honorable that you do that, George. Good for you. George, the event, of course, this event of inclusiveness where the National Hockey League wants to tell the LGBTQ community, you know what? The game in our league is for everyone, right? The game of hockey in the National Hockey League is for everyone. You're all welcome, right? So they've gone around the league and everyone has been able to host an event. And unfortunately, it hasn't been always smooth for the National Hockey League because there have been some players who refuse to wear the Pride themed jerseys. Labushkin is one and Kuzmenko is the other and Samsonov is another. Of course, 3 Russian players. And this, for those who are not aware, it all stems to a law that was passed in Russia which forbids any kind of promotion or publicity for the LGBTQ. And some of them have wanted to stay away. Others have stayed away for religious reasons and didn't want to wear the Pride-themed jerseys. Provorov is one, Reimer is another, the Stahl brothers, Eric and Mark. And here with Montreal, Marty St. Louis was asked about it yesterday, how he thought it was going to all go down. And he said, guys, I can't answer that question right now. There's some things we have to look into. I'll answer it tomorrow and I'll be ready for those tough questions. And you just got the sense that the way he was answering the questions, it was going to be something involving Denis Gurianov, of course, who is from Russia. And earlier today at the morning skate, Marty St. Louis told members of the media that Denis Gurianov, citing personal reasons, family-related personal reasons, would not be taking part in the warm-up to skate around with these Pride-themed jerseys, but would be in the lineup. We know what's going on in Russia. Matvei Michkov's father was found dead in the last day or two, a couple of days ago, in what looks like very suspect situation. Marty St. Louis said this, George. Before I get your comment, I'd just like to read what Marty St. Louis had to say. He said regarding Gurianov not wanting to participate, he said, I have it here. I haven't walked a day in Gurianov's shoes. I know one thing. You should always try to protect your family. So I have a tough time judging that. All right. And the Canadians issued a statement later on saying we were made aware that one of our players has chosen not to wear the special Pride jersey ahead of tonight's game for family reasons. And as such, he will not participate in the warm-ups with his teammates. While we understand the decision, we also hope the focus of attention remains where it belongs, on evolving as a society to be more accepting and welcoming of all without exception. George, your thoughts?
Well, I think that everyone knows now that regarding Russian players, if they wear the jersey, the family get arrested, and there's crazy thing that could happen to them if they go back to Russia. And they will go back to Russia to be back to their family. It's so easy for us in the outside to look at this and be like, come on, they should endorse it anyway. If you had family, the life would be at stake by endorsing a jersey. You would think about it twice. So in the beginning with Provorov, we didn't hear about these things. For religious reason, it brought more of a debate. But now when guys were more honest about it and talked about the security, I totally understand it. I don't know what it's like to be a Russian player. I don't know what it's like to go back to Russia and all these rules. We have no idea. But when all of them are unite to talk about the danger it would be, I understand why they won't go there. So regarding the Russian players, I understand. Even regarding Reimer and the Stahl brother, that's not a debate, right? Because talking about religious reason. The thing though, Tony, is that everybody has different, religious belief. And who am I to judge someone that is religious with their belief, what they should believe in or not? What cause should they support in or not? I'm not. We are not put in the position. We're not God. We cannot say this player should do this and he shouldn't. The religious belief, it's bullshit, and then it doesn't. No, we can't. We have to respect people's decision. What people have to understand, and it's not because someone refused to wear a jersey that is not accepting everyone's differences, that is not accepting that a gay player plays on his team. It doesn't mean that. It's just, there's so many causes today in the society. There's tons of them. We don't have to endorse all of them, but it doesn't mean because we don't endorse all the causes that we're racist or for whatever reason, right? When there was the parade for the Black Lives Matter, do all the white people that stayed at home didn't join the parade? Do I all think that they're racist because they didn't join the parade in Montreal?
Of course not.
No,
of course not. Come on.
It was their decision to stay at home, not to join this, and it's okay. You don't have to. It's not because you don't join a movement that you're the opposite of it. And the thing is, I just think that next year, because of what this has done to the teams, what this has done to the players, I think that they're going to find a way. Teams going to find a way to support the community, but maybe in a different way. So then you don't have teams that have to find ways to protect the players. You don't have players that will take a stand and then it's going to hurt them in the community, because this is supposed to be positive. This is supposed to be a choice. And again, it is important to show that we're inclusive. And Tony, I work with the NHL. I work with the NHL with a diversity committee to make the game for everyone. Finding ways to show the game is for everyone. So that way, to do this, it has to be a choice. You cannot impose people to support every cause that you endorse in the same way that you would. None of the players that refused to wear a jersey talked against the LGBTQ community. None of them. But they've just said that they didn't endorse it, but they accept the differences.
George, I'll say this. I mean, it's a great initiative by the National Hockey League. I'm not so sure they were ready for it, right? Because they weren't prepared maybe for a player or two not wanting to wear the jersey, and it seemed like it rattled the league, and it actually even rattled some teams. Look, I like the way Marty St. Louis handled it when he said, I never walked a day in his shoes. And I know that the first thing that we should do in our lives is always try and protect our family first and foremost. I thought that was a great answer. I thought those were a couple of great answers. I'll say this though. Today, Marty St. Louis was talked to for about just over 12 minutes. It was all about this, which is okay to talk about the cause, but a lot of it was on Gurianov, okay? And I just thought that was kind of unfortunate. It looked like Marty St. Louis had enough of it at 1.2, and he got up and he said, hey, guys, no questions on my lineup. And then he just got up and he was asked, is Farrell out? And he just got up and he left and he didn't even answer it, okay? If I was the Canadians, me, Gurianov wouldn't have played tonight. And then this wouldn't have been talked about at all. Because let's face it, right? He's give or take a fourth liner. He hasn't played very well in the last couple of games anyway. I thought Farrell's last game was better than Gurianov's last game anyway. So a player has to come out of the lineup. So for me, Gurianov wouldn't have played today. That's it. So if he's not playing, you're not talking to him. He's not in the locker room. It doesn't come up. And tomorrow or the day after, when you're moving on and you're preparing for Toronto on Saturday, this event, it's over already. So, that's the way I would have handled it. Okay. Look, they handled it the way they handled it. How about this though? Knowing that he wasn't taking part in the pregame warm-up, wearing the Pride themed jersey, would you have played him at that point anyway?
Tony, there's many teams that has played guys anyway.
I know. George, I don't hear you. All right, okay. We lost George. Let's see if we can bring George to the...
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
So, Tony, there's many teams that has players that didn't take the warm-up, and then even though they didn't take the warm-up, they still play the game. So
yeah, no, I know.
So no, like the thing with Gurianov, like the team is really giving him all the chance before they make a decision to release him. At least they want to see everything that he's got till the end.
That's true.
We know that to be honest with you, Tony, there's 3 games left. He's not going anywhere. You know that they're not gonna sign him.
If you would ask me to bet right now, I would bet that they will not re-sign him. Which I think, look, the package is there. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to put it together. Sometimes some players, a change of atmosphere, a change of a new coach, new teammates, new line mates, a new team, it helps. And sometimes they just go back to their bad habits. And it just seems like this guy has little things to his game that he just cannot put together at the same time and make it stick together for a while.
Tony, nobody understood why the Dallas Stars let him go for like that enough. Last year in the playoff, he was one of the best players. And how does this guy, after halfway through the year, they quit on him? There's that 3 weeks that he disappeared that nobody know what happened during that time. Was it rehab? Was it what kind of problem did he have? But he's never been the same. And at 25 years old, when a team lets you go, when you have this talent, because he does have the speed, the shot, he has it all. There's problems with him. And Montreal tried. Again, they gave that enough that they were going to lose at the end of the season anyway for a project that they tried. Didn't work. It's fine. They'll release him. They won't qualify. It's 2.9 to qualifying.
Yeah.
They're not even 2 million. I would not give him anything. You tried it. It didn't work. It didn't cost you anything. No big deal. Next, you move on.
All right. Okay. Hold on a second here. Sylvain Beaudoin. Okay. When, why are we not talking about hockey? All right. And there's been a couple of these comments already. Folks, you're wrong. Okay. The National Hockey League, this is a very important night for them. And we would be doing a disservice if we would have started the Sick Podcast tonight, where George Laraque, that was asked to go there as well, to go around from loge to loge to speak to people from the LGBTQ community. All right.
And to kids.
And there's fundraising efforts being done with this now, with the jerseys being auctioned off, going to a foundation, going to a great cause. And some of you are basically, let's just talk about hockey. Let's not talk about that.
And Tony,
hold on a sec. When there's great causes, we talk about it. And by the way, we'll get to hockey. And we just did with Gurianov, by the way, in terms of his play, talking about it. And we're going to talk about Armia's hat trick in a minute. We'll talk about Mike Matheson picking up a bunch of assists. We'll talk about the Canadians exploding for 6 goals. But when there's important events, it's important for everyone, especially members of the media who I think have a responsibility to shed light and raise awareness. That's what we're doing. And if you don't want to hear about these great causes and this raising awareness, well, then obviously we know a little bit about you. Go ahead, George.
And, and the one thing I want to add to the people that maybe not like this subject, just know that tonight, the kids that me and Jordan Harris, we saw, they're kids between 7 and 12 years old. Kids that are homosexual. Kids that are having it rough. Tonight was their night to get to watch the hockey game for the first time, to have support. As a man, being homosexual could be hard at times, yes, and especially in today in the society. Imagine if you're a kid, how hard it must be. Tonight, it was for them. For them tonight, they were at Bell Center that I got to meet. So if it's for you listening to us right now, it's too hard. We don't care about those issues in society that are attacking your kids that are future of tomorrow. What if it was your kids? What if it was your cousin? What if your kids' friends? You don't care because your kids are heterosexual, so the rest doesn't matter? Their reaction, Tony, is exactly the reason why we have to do campaigns of sensibilization, because in 2023, there's still people that has problem with homophobia. And me, why did I go there tonight? I went there to be part of the solution. It's not my event, but I was invited to go to it, to talk to this kid and to show support. And everyone that is listening to us tonight should all show support, because if we all did, there wouldn't be need to have any parade and any of that stuff, because there's too many people that are closed-minded, and you guys are part of the problem.
All right, George, well said. I think judging by what the comments are, for the most part, people agree with you. Okay, Yoel Armia. A very frustrating game by Yoel Armia. Very frustrating. You're going to look at me and say, Tony, what's frustrating about it? Is that every 25 games or so, 26, 27, 3 times a season, he has these games where he looks so dominant in kind of like the mold of a power forward that, every time it happens, you say to yourself, where has this guy been all season? He's big,
Tony, hold on.
He's strong, he has the reach, he protects the puck, he's got a great wrist shot. Go.
Tony, did you see the Caps tonight? I don't even want to talk about what our players did tonight. The Caps tonight sucked.
They're terrible.
It was embarrassing. You know what I was upset about when I watched the game, Tony?
Yeah.
We're passing the Coyotes. It's a catastrophe.
You're telling me.
The Canadian has to be in a dead last 5 spot for the draft.
You're telling me.
Draft May 10. It's a catastrophe that they won tonight. It is the worst thing ever. We just passed the Coyotes that figured it out, has lost 9 in a row because they won the best picks possible. They're playing to lose. We beat the Caps tonight, and it's going to hurt the fact that the Canadian could almost say bye to Bedard if we finish like 6 last. It's bad. That
George, I lost my mind watching this game. The people were doing the dis-moi ce qu'il faut energy cardio. I don't even know if that's true or not. I'm just making it up. Everyone was smiling, dancing, whatever. The wave, this, ole, 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 the chants and stuff like that. They showed Jeff Gordon in the press box with John Sedgwick and the Canadians management. I mean, they were laughing. I was crying.
Yeah, Tony, I have a message for all the people that were happy about tonight's win, okay? And I'm a former player, and I would never want to lose. And every player that on the ice, they want to win good. They try to win perfect. The Washington Capitals weren't there tonight. Just remember this, though. on May 10, when there's going to be, you know,
The lottery.
when
the
they're going to
draft
do the lottery.
Yeah, Monday, May 10th.
Don't cry if we get the 4th or 5th or 6th pick. Do not cry, because you were happy about every win that the Canadian had towards the end of the season, which is hurting every chance of getting a top 3 picks. The Canadian needs to have a home run. You need the top 4. The top 4 are home run lock for next year.
Yeah.
The way that things are going right now, it doesn't look like we're going to top 4. So just remember that game against Washington that we won. That might kill their chance to draft in there.
You know what I was thinking
Because
tonight watching?
The rebuilding of this team is crucial with the lottery.
You're telling me.
Fixing the lottery will dictate the future of the Montreal Canadiens.
You're telling me. I
know.
know.
We just passed the Coyotes, and it's not the Canadiens' fault. They were at home. They won. But the Caps, did you guys watch that team tonight? So to talk about Armia's hat trick, to talk about Tony.
Yeah.
Both teams packed it in. Montreal is just that they lost so many games in a row in front of home. They tried a bit harder.
Yeah.
But all the talent in the Caps team didn't try at all.
Arizona plays at Seattle, by the way, and the game starts in about 10 minutes. But it was a couple of days ago. I think Seattle beat Arizona by a score of 8-1, or it was something really, really crazy. Let's take a look at the Montreal Canadiens lineup. And Yellow and Sammy and Master Control live from a hotel in downtown Montreal. I love these guys. Suzuki with Armia on his right and Raphael RV Pinard on his left. Drouin with Gallagher on his right and Gurianov on his left. Evans with Hoffman on his right and Pitlick on his left. And Tierney with Ylonen and Pezzetta. Matheson and Barron, Edmondson, Weidman, Schuneman, and Kovacevic. And Samuel Montembeault was in goal. Yoel Armia picks up a hat trick in this game. We talked about that. We should also talk about Mike Matheson with 3 assists. He was a +4, 5 shots on goal, 25 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time for him. George, once again, I thought Mike Matheson was not only good tonight. George, he's playing like a number 1 defenseman in the National Hockey League. The guy's playing like a star, man.
You know, Tony, there's one thing I'll say about Matheson, okay? Because, again, I don't want to talk about tonight's game. Tonight's game was crap. It's tough to have an evaluation on what our guys did tonight when the Caps just melted in. They didn't care. What I want to talk about Matheson,
tell me,
is I want to talk about the trade with Petrie. The last game that the Penguins lost, Petrie, in that second goal, when they were down 2-0 to the Devils, he did a stupid peewee pinch that caused a 2-on-1. The Devils scored 2-0. Game was over. All the tweets, you should see there's hundreds of tweets from the Penguins fans. They were like, Petrie's terrible. Let's release him. Get rid of him. We don't want him back. The fans were screaming. Like on social media, Petrie's getting murdered in Pittsburgh. They regret the trade for Matheson. They want Matheson back. People are so upset. I've never seen.
They even traded John Marino. Ron Extall's made a couple of deals that have been absolutely terrible.
You know what? If the Penguins don't make the playoff,
and
now every team won. The Islanders won.
Yeah.
The Penguins won, and Florida killed Ottawa.
Yeah.
They all won.
You want to know why they destroyed them, eh?
Why?
Because that was Keith last week talking about how weak Florida is and the fact that Ottawa plays with so much. It looked like they had something to prove tonight. By the way, that was a great bet tonight.
Yeah, and that's why, Tony. What I want to say about Matheson is he's looking at the Pittsburgh Penguins now, and we could say that if Matheson would have stayed in Pittsburgh and Petrie in Montreal, the Penguins would be in the show. If the Penguins don't make the playoff, I think it's going to cost Ron Extall's job.
I'm going to tell you something. Jeff Petrie was always a good player. I think he became a very good player when he joined the Montreal Canadiens. And his last year as a Hab, he was not very good. George, that last year as a Hab, when COVID was going on and it had an impact on his family, like it just seems like since then, his
He was never the same.
His passion for the game has
changed.
dipped.
You're right. Good point.
And when players they have a drop in passion, you have a drop in your effectiveness and what you bring to the table. And you're right.
True.
If Pittsburgh misses the playoffs, this is on Ron Extall. The trading of John Marino and the trading of Michael Matheson, you take those two guys and you put them on the Penguins' blue line, and now all of a sudden the Penguins are not only in the playoffs, but I'd rather not play them if I was another team. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But anyway, all right. Look, still a couple of things I want to talk to you about before I let you go, because once again, I do know that you are an early riser. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Jonathan Drouin's pass to Brendan Gallagher. Very nice. Very nice.
Tony, let's talk about something else than the game. The game, honestly, I watched it. It was so bad. The Caps.
Okay. Let's do this.
Tony, they were skating with the motion.
Yeah.
It was honestly, Tony, don't analyze this game, okay? There's nothing to analyze.
Okay, I want you to analyze the fight. Michael Pezzetta versus Tom Wilson. What do you think?
Okay. Pezzetta came in right because Wilson is bigger than him, has a bigger reach. He did a good entry sideways, hold him good, had the distance so he couldn't get connect, but he lost balance at the end with someone that was bigger than him. It's not that he lost the fight. It's just that the way that he stood in a corner, like because Wilson can get to him with a punch, he just kind of squeezed him, pushed him.
If you can, for the benefit of those watching, and this is the beauty of a podcast because the video's on, okay? Can you kind of like show us in terms of what you're talking about, grabbing him from the side here?
Okay,
maybe,
so
I don't know, maybe you want to stand up. I don't know, unless you're not wearing shorts.
No, okay. So first of all, when you get into a fight, right?
Yeah.
You can't be squared up to a guy. You got to be sideways.
You got to be sideways.
Sideways like this. Present your shoulder, and then your shoulders protecting your chin like this. So you hold the guys in the chest here.
George, pardon me for a second. Shouldn't your hand be up to protect your face or your chin instead, or?
No. Your hand is straight.
Yeah.
Like this.
Okay.
Like if I was to hold the jersey, let's say I hold it. Yeah. And then one is straight. You're sideways.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah. And then your elbow, like right now, not your elbow, sorry.
Your shoulder.
Your shoulder is protecting your chin.
Okay.
So you're sideways like this. Let's say I'm far
Flush
away.
Against your chin.
And I'm like this. Yes.
Okay.
So the guy, because the chin, if you get hit here, you get knocked out. So the shoulder's up like this. You hold him far away.
Yeah.
And your grip is on top of his grip. So you could lean on his arm. You could control him more. So he was holding him like this, the distance sideways. He was like that, and his head was back. So that way,
George, your grip is right here, like on top of where the elbow is, or it's next to the forearm?
No, in the chest. Because if your grip is in the arm, your arm moves, the guy is going to move. You have no control if it's in the arm. It has to be in the chest here.
You put your hand around the jersey. All right, you put your hand over where the neck area is the jersey. Okay.
With your arm straight.
Yeah.
And your shoulder protecting your chin.
Yeah.
And you're sideways.
Yeah.
When you're sideways, your head.
Yeah.
No harms could hit your head. Defense part like this. You hold the guy's bigger. You stay like this.
Yeah.
Chin is protecting. Wilson knows he can't throw. He had a good grip at the start, Pezzetta, when he was like this. Wilson knew he couldn't get to him. He tried, he couldn't because his head is back like this, and he's just waiting for him to commit.
Yeah.
Wilson, in that regard, is a bigger guy, the heavier guy. He has to be the aggressor because if it's a draw, Pezzetta wins. So he has to attack him more, but Pezzetta has the perfect defense. When the guy is bigger and he can't get in, what he'll do, he'll shake the guy up to make him lose his grip. Yeah. And often, because he's more powerful, he could make him fall. And that's what happened. He was close to the board, and the shaking that he did, because the bigger guy in the Pezzetta, when he was like this, he shook him down. So Pezzetta didn't get hurt. He got like pushed down, and then that's it. So there's no tweaking that could be done with him.
Pezzetta's probably thanking God that it ended that way, because to tell you the truth, the last thing I wanted was those guys to start swinging, because I mean, he was out of his weight class here.
But doesn't matter. He showed up.
Oh yeah, he did. And there's a large.
And he pretty much did a draw. Wilson is tough.
Hey,
he's top 5 in the NHL. Wilson.
Michael Pezzetta, obviously didn't win his fight versus Ryan Reeves. There's not too many people that have beat Ryan Reeves in a fight. I don't remember seeing the last time he lost one. Okay, but he took on Ryan Reeves and he took on Tom Wilson. Listen.
Heart of a lion.
This guy, he parla quadrado.
Listen, I love this kid.
Parla quadrado.
Heart of a lion. I love that kid.
Yeah.
I love that kid. You know what? It's a lost cause, and he shows up like that. That kid is playing for next year. He's playing for his heart. He's showing everyone, I don't care that the game is done. We lost too many games in a row. We're in our building. I'm going to show up.
I got a question for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Next year, let's just say the lineup is done. They need one more player on that team. It comes down, boom, Belzile or Pezzetta. Who and why?
Pezzetta. Because Belzile did good this year, but because of his age, you know, he's a bit older. It was a bonus for him to play there this year. But Belzile will get hurt. He'll never play a full season of 82 games because the physical side that he'll play, sometimes he'll get hurt for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to have another guy that might not play every game, but that will show up and will bring a physical presence when Xhekaj is not there. And even if Xhekaj is there, there's so many games that Pezzetta had the most body check in both teams and some big goals and big assists that he did lately to show that he could contribute offensively. So I love Pezzetta, and to me, he'd be a locked-in a team.
All right, okay. We may be having some issues with the feed here. I hope we can fix them because if we do, like I told you, our master control is out of a hotel tonight in very exceptional circumstances to try and bring you the podcast. And once again, I said there's certain things that we can do, certain things that we can't do. And that's why it was going to be in a little bit of an abbreviated show tonight. We'll just end it with this, and that is something I wanted to bring up to you. I had it here. Okay, I want to confirm something. 100th game for Samuel Montembeault and a big win. Now I know Washington tonight was. But you know what? In a season that has been a season that was, Montembeault deserves a lot of credit. But George, even though I say he deserves a lot of credit, you and I before were upset that they've won some games they shouldn't have won. And you know what? It's because of him. It's because of him.
I'm happy.
If they don't get Connor Bedard, it's because of him. We lost George again. All right. Okay.
Because
we got him back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. I'm happy for Montembeault. Montembeault is doing good. He's awesome. He's gonna be one of the two goalies next year. Could he work himself into a number one goalie? Who knows? Maybe. But Jake Allen will not be in my tandem next year, but Montembeault would be up there. And I just don't know who's going to be the other goalie for the future of this team.
Yeah.
Jake Allen is locked in, so it's probably going to be him and Montembeault again because who's going to want him because he was so bad this year. But again, the Canadians are in no rush to win anyway. I know some people think they could compete next year for the playoff, but not with Jake Allen in that.
You talked about the cap. They were so bad tonight that Alexander Ovechkin looked very he had like one shot on goal.
It was bad.
What did the Capitals do last night?
I don't know. They partied for sure. No curfew. There's no curfew for any team at this point. You know that, right? Team don't care what they do. There's no system. There's nothing. The season's over.
Yeah. Well, the teams that don't make the playoffs, obviously, you're talking about. Yeah. This is whatever. No curfew. Exactly. So they had no curfew last night?
No. Once the season's over like this, you have nothing to play for. You could do whatever. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
Yeah. Guys play for bonuses and stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. That's why it sucks because there's no motivation. Nothing. That's it.
I still think the season's too long, man. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I just think the season's too long. I think you have less games. You bring it down to 70 games. You cut away your 3 or 4.
But you know what though, Tony?
Yeah.
That's because the Canadians out. But look at the Panthers.
Yeah.
Look at the Penguin and the Islanders.
Yes, it's a race. It's a race. You're right.
It's a dead race. And then look at the Jets and look at Calgary.
Yeah. But look, if you shave off 6, 8, 10 games, you don't think it'd still be a race? It'd still be a race.
Yeah. But, for money reason, that won't happen, though.
All right. The Canadiens in Toronto on Saturday. And then next week, they have a couple of games left to finish off the season.
Yeah.
The last game of this regular season, they're going to host the Boston Bruins.
Yeah. Man, they can't win it. I hope the Coyotes surprises us and we don't pass them. That's all I could hope for.
Yeah. Okay. So before we break away, I'll tell you this, that the Coyotes right now they've 2 minutes into the game, and it's 0-0 a couple of minutes into the game. So we'll keep our eye on that. George, thanks for doing this, man. You were fantastic as always. All right. Okay. Very, very good. There you go. George Laraque, who was at the game tonight and was able to make time for us and join us, which is very, very much appreciated. Agnello and Sammy, if we can, I'm just going to tackle a few questions that I'll bring up myself, and then we will call it a night, and we thank everyone for watching. So if you want right now, go ahead, throw out a few questions for me, folks watching on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live, and on Twitter Live. And you can go ahead and do so. And once again, a shout out to Playground, by the way. Over 600 machines at Playground, over 600 machines, poker tournaments and Playground casino games, daily promotions, unmatched customer service. Why go anywhere else? Located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. It is Playground. Okay, so I'm going to get to some of your questions, some of your comments. It's not like NHL players work 9 to 5 anyway. They have plenty of time off. They do. It's a pretty nice life, but you do travel a lot, but it's easier if you're single. When you're married, it's a little bit tough on a family. Natalie Polito, Tony, what are you doing to lose the weight? Well, look, I'm on a program. I'm on a program that is pretty much the first phase is 31 days at a time. And at one point here, as I continue to shave off a few pounds, if I'm probably going to bring in an expert, someone who has been consulting me, someone who has been helping me lose the weight. I'm not alone in this. I basically, I joined the weight loss program. The second that there was a challenge between myself and Jean-Charles Lajoie to lose weight. I joined the weight loss program, and so in time you'll find out. Questions? Do you have a watch collection? If not, what's your favorite watch or dream watch? I have many watches. None of them are very expensive, to be totally honest with you. You know what? Would I take a Rolex? Yeah, I take a Rolex because it increases in value all the time. But you know what? I'm good with an Apple Watch. It does everything I need it to do, and that's pretty good. Others. How do you project the top 5 in the draft after Bedard? Obviously, well, the best people to ask are people that are independent scouts. Or have their own scouting agency, somebody like Grant McCagg. But I think it's safe to say that Adam Fantilli is probably going to go number 2. I think there's a good chance that Leo Carlson goes number 3. And then after that, it's pretty wide open. Says Greg, are you ever going back to 690, Tony? Never say never in life, I guess. But I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing right now. I think I got a great life right now, a great professional life. I'm really enjoying it. Radio was my first love. Do I miss it? Yes, I probably always will. But, I want to take what I did in 20 years of radio and in the last 14 years of hosting my own show. I brought it to, I think, a level that is very high, all things considering a very difficult time slot. And I want to take this podcast. I made a promise to Sammy over 2 years ago that we're going to take this podcast and it was going to be the best possible podcast it could be. I think it's good right now. I'd like for it to jump to be very good. And then I'd like for it to take a jump to be great. And then I'd like for it to take a jump to be unbelievable. So I think there are still 3 levels that we can get to. And, I'm confident with a little bit of time, some patience, some good health, a little bit of luck, your continued support, that we're going to get there. All right. Folks, I've had offers to go back to radio. Okay. Not at my previous radio station, but I have had offers to go back to radio and host my own radio show. And you never know. There's a place for radio, and there's still going to be a place for radio for several years. But I jumped on this podcast bandwagon. I jumped on the streaming bandwagon. This is what I think a lot of people want. I want to be able to cater to a younger generation, and the younger generation, they have this in their hands like 18 hours a day. They even lie down on their bed and look at it all the time. And that generation, they're not really listening to all that much radio. So, there's a very good living in the podcast world, folks. There's a very good living. Okay. So, Tony, why did you refuse to go work for radio? Well, because I made a promise to Sammy. Like I said, once again, never say never, but you know what? I have everything I need here in this podcast studio. I have a great relationship with Sammy and Agnello. We're doing something that we love. We're working at it. We're talking all the time. We get along with each other. You know what? I'm doing it out of my own home for now. I got my fridge here. I got my bathroom here. I don't have to go out. I don't have to drive, but I would like to see the public more. And so if I'm already giving you a hint of what we're going to do for the podcast to go to another level, I think I just already pretty much told you, right? I think I pretty much told you. All right. Okay. Others. Folks, I see the comments about, a certain radio station. There's a lot of people that I like there. Okay. And they work hard and they do their best. And so, so let's leave it at that. Others. Tony, if we get Pierre-Luc Dubois, would you put Kirby Dach as a third line center or as a top 6 winger? No, I think Kirby Dach should not be a third line center. For me, Kirby Dach has to play in the top 2 lines. So he either centers a second line or he's the winger for Suzuki and Caulfield. That's the way I see it. Other than that, other questions? Is there a Friday and a Monday podcast? I think what we're going to do is we're going to take that decision tomorrow. Okay. I can't tell you for certain, if there is or if there isn't right now. Obviously, these are exceptional circumstances. Once again, I told you that Agnello and Sammy checked into a hotel. So we'll let you know early tomorrow. We'll probably even let you know tonight on social media. And so don't forget to follow us at The Sick Podcast on social media. That would be our Twitter handle, at The Sick Podcast. And of course, you're probably following us on Facebook Live or on Twitter Live. And thank you very much for that. You can also follow us on YouTube Live. Subscribe. It's absolutely free. Tell your friends about it. Share our videos. If you love us and we love you, share our videos, please. Like our videos. Message sick right now so that we feel this love coming all in at the same time. Sick. And if you listen via audio, via Spotify or Apple or Google Podcasts, at that point, please leave us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. We love to do this. We love you back. And there you go. Okay. And once again, we're going to get together here at some point. Agnello and Sammy and I and Juliana, the Cavaleros, and myself, we're planning. We have something in store where all of you are going to be able to put face to name. And I hope that all of you that are watching right now on all social media channels, I hope when we have that event in the next couple of months that you'll be there, because it will be my pleasure and my honor to meet each and every one of you, shake your hands, take a picture, talk sports, and just enjoy the night. I hope you had a good night. I want to thank Agnello and Sammy for accommodating and everything they do for this podcast. Thank you very much. And we'll keep you posted. All things being equal, it's our intention, okay, to be back tomorrow, but let's see what we can make official here in the next little while. So stay tuned. Take a look at our social media channels. It's the Sick Podcast. They're Cavallaro. I'm Marinaro. Have a great night.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. La Vida Tibi. Embrace your true nature.